because people do not have the capacity to understand what the policies that they're fucking voting for look like when it is in practice. Okay? Holy, that is so crazy. How can you blame Trump for COVID? What? I'm not blaming Trump for COVID existing. I'm blaming Trump for not taking adequate countermeasures and routinely spreading misinformation about how to deal with COVID directly at odds with the professionals that he had hired in his administration to deal with it. I've noticed there's a pretty distinct difference between people who remember vividly the feeling of election night 2016 and the following 4 years and those who don't remember that at all. It's understandable. I think we have short-term memory, and it's made especially worse by the social media cycle that just like hypes things up for 24-hour time frames, and then you forget about it immediately. There have been psych studies that we are in a massive event where the wide population basically memory hold late 2020 through 2021. It's a really cool study at the moment, but people legit do not remember it en masse. So trying to remind them could just fail. No, I'm not talking about 2020 till 2021. I'm not talking about COVID. I do understand why people memory hold COVID. COVID was a traumatic global event that a lot of people do not remember or want to remember fondly. That part I understand. Okay, it's psychological trauma. No one wants to fucking remember it because it sucked. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about everything leading up to COVID. I'm talking about virtually everything leading up to COVID. That's why like Charlottesville and like the misinformation, like the utilization of the bully pulpit. These are significant things. These are very significant things. Like, I think one reason why Joe Biden won over Donald Trump beyond COVID was also the fact that Americans were slammed to the television every single fucking day because Trump would do something insane every single fucking day. Okay? It's impossible to remember every single thing that he's done. Here, I'll give you an example. Many people in here are probably going to be shocked when they find out that Donald Trump, early on in 2016, claimed that a Mexican-American judge could not preside over his case because he was of Mexican background. That is just pure racism. Okay? Pure fucking racism. That is not even a thing that people probably remember because there was a million other things that he has said. Okay? It like doesn't even fucking track with a gorillion different things that Donald Trump has said. That's what I'm talking about in terms of like what people should be reminded of. They should be reminded of how fucking shitty it was to like constantly have to, pay attention to what the fuck the president was saying. Remember, permissible racism, you go above that and people go, no, that's unacceptable. That's seemingly what was the straw that broke the camel's back. Okay? Donald Trump was doing fantastic outreach to Latino voters across the board, okay, all around the country. Texas GOP Latino outreach is like basically a national thing now. It's the national outreach strategy of the Republican Party. And it seemed like a lot of people, a lot of Latinos did not care about Donald Trump saying, like, we're going to fucking kill every undocumented migrant. We're going to deport them. We're going to deport tens of millions of them, and it's going to be awesome. They didn't care about it because no one understands one, how this policy would be implemented and how violent that policy would be. And no one understands what the underlying sentiment is for why we must have that policy to begin with. It's white supremacy through and through. Okay? Latinos did not care about it across the board, at least in the way that they were being polled up until the fucking Tony Hinchcliffe pivotal moment. It is pretty funny that is like something that shook a lot of people into going, oh my God, wait a minute, these guys are actually racist. Because for many Americans across the board, regardless of their fucking background, they don't understand the violence that the policy that they're advocating for will cause. They don't understand how that will actually impact them personally. And the greatest example of this is abortion. Okay? The greatest example of this is fucking abortion. So many goddamn dumbass Republicans were like, Yeah, no, it's actually, you know, it's fantastic. Yeah, I don't care. I'm pro-life. I'm pro-life. I'm pro-life. It's probably fine that, you know, Trump is pro-life. I like that, actually. And then Roe v. Wade was overturned, and they're like, oh my God, I never really thought that my daughter would need a fucking abortion due to a medical emergency, and now she might fucking die. Because people do not have the capacity to understand what the policies they're fucking voting for look like when it is in practice. Okay? That's it. A lot of Republican policy revolves around pure selfishness. And not only that, but it also revolves around like punishing perceived enemies. Okay? They don't realize that they might themselves be in the fucking crosshairs, like white women, not recognizing that like Roe v. Wade actually harms them and other people like them. Or, you know, Hispanic voters that are like, yeah, no, I'm actually super fucking pro security at the border. Not realizing that undocumented migrants do not constitute a national security threat whatsoever. There is no evidence for this, okay? Correct me if I'm wrong, but every state where abortion is illegal, there's a life exception for abortion. Brother, there is no reason for abortion to be illegal. Every single state has now voted, when given the opportunity, to legalize abortion again. The fuck are you talking about? And women are still dying regardless of the life exception. Because when you add an unnecessary medical hurdle, an unnecessary legal hurdle to a routine medical process, doctors are understandably not going to follow through on this procedure because they're fucking worried about repercussions. Like, what are you talking about? Yeah, a teenager just died last week in Texas. Like, what are we doing? So stupid. Yeah, I'm about to fucking die on my way to the emergency room. But hold up, let me get a fucking approval from a Republican judge before that's allowed. A pregnant teenager died after visits, after trying to get care in 3 visits to Texas emergency rooms. It took 3 ER visits in 20 hours before a hospital admitted Nevaeh Crane, 18, as her condition worsened. Doctors insisted on 2 ultrasounds to confirm fetal demise. She's one of at least 2 Texan women who died under the state's abortion ban. That's how it works. How the fuck is this still a question? Like, I don't understand. That's why any kind of legal limitation to abortion, because you've imagined that like women are carrying pregnancies the fucking 9 months, almost to term, specifically to get a fun abortion that is born out of the hallucinations of like the most psychotic individuals out there, legislating at the behest of like actual fascist hallucinations is insane. You are creating unnecessary hurdles. You're creating unnecessary legal hurdles in an instance that does not require any hurdles whatsoever. Even just based on the way that this chat discussed Tim Pool's opinions on dilution and extraction, dilution and curettage, curettage, curettage. It is so clear the lack of education is why we live with these outcomes. This community is at least supportive, even when ignorant. Now think about the fucking idiot hogs, and everyone makes fun of The Handmaid's Tale, but to be honest, that shit is bad. Bar for bar, the current plot and reality. Yes. This is not unwanted byproduct. This is the anticipated result. They want women who have sex outside of marriage to suffer. Yes. For some of the Christian nationalist legislators, that is precisely the point. But for many people who think that they're pro-life, or many people who are voting for pro-life candidates, they don't think about it like that. Do you understand? People are voting. By the way, this is also stupid because like a shit ton, I forget what percentage, but I think it's like the majority of women who get abortions are already mothers. Okay. The fuck? So that also doesn't make any sense. It's not like they're doing it out of wedlock. They're doing it out of necessity. God damn, dude. Holy shit.